How's it going, my investors? It is your host, Investosaurus Rex, coming at you with a brand new type of show. Gonna go through everything: real estate, property management, portfolios, stocks, but my bread and butter is usually the property management, commercial, and multifamily residential. So that's what I'm doing for you today, so stay tuned. We're gonna be talking about noise today. Yes, noise. So, first-time renters and first-time landlords usually ask me, how do you handle noise? All right, now, guys, as you can see, I'm out here in this beautiful White Pine Park in Illinois. It's beautiful out here. I kind of wanted to do it away from the desk, kind of give you a different point of view, perspective. I mean, I always feel that people should get one in with nature, have to be one with nature. You have to take care of yourself, mind, body, and soul. Yes, sir. Mind, body, and soul. So that's why I'm doing this. As you can tell, I'm a little out of breath. It's been a long winter here, so bear with me. If you hear me wheezing and stuff like that, that's the reason. So yeah, so a lot of things that first-time tenants, first-time landlords, or even people that have been renting for a while, and they've been renting in a good location, and then all of a sudden they get this loud neighbor, and it's like, oh my God, it's daunting sometimes. And how do you deal with that? How do you deal with a neighbor that just doesn't care? And what are the steps to take? This will be information for both tenants and landlords. And I always feel you have to work together to solve issues like this. We're all human. We're all trying to figure it out. And so you're always going to deal with neighbors. You're always going to deal with tenants. So that's why I wanted to make this. So you moved into a new place, or someone moved in next to you that's brand spanking new. Couple first days, all good. All of a sudden, yeah, that's all you hear, just loud noise, obnoxious noise, fighting. I mean, unfortunately, in this line of work and in what we do, there's a lot of people that live together that shouldn't be living together. But that's a whole different topic. We'll get to that in another video. But as far as noise goes, it's really, really, really hard to be able to take care of an issue just like that. One thing that I always say to do to take preventative measures, like a preemptive strike, would be going and introducing yourself. So go around, introduce yourself to your direct neighbors, let them know who you are, let them know what you're about. I'm not saying you have to be buddy-buddy, Mr. Chum-Chum, no. But if you become acquainted with them, they have a face with the person that lives right next to them. Rather than, oh yeah, that one person over there that, what's his name? At least they'll know who you are. That way, if there's any future occurrences or if there's any noise issues, you're able to communicate with them through text, through phone call, rather than having to go through the landlord. So, okay, you gave out your information. You let them know, hey, please hit me up. Let me get your information. I'll hit you up in case there's any issues. Okay? It happened. Uh-oh. Guess what you hear the first night? Yes. So, okay, you reach out, you text, you're like, okay, no problem. My preventative measures got me to this position. I know what to do. Text them, excuse me, you're being really loud, trying to sleep. Be nice about it. Don't be like, a lot of people, when they do those type of things, they feel like they are, how would I use the word? Entitled. Oh, I'm entitled because you're not entitled. We're all living the same earth. We're all breathing the same air. So yes. So what I would say is reach out, text them, be nice about it. And usually that'll take care of it. And then just say, hey, if there's a day that you want to have a get together or something like that, just let me know. I don't have a problem. Just let me know. So that way I can prepare myself and I know what's going on. But the spur of the moment, 10 p.m., I can't. I can't. Now let's just say that they don't want anything to do with you. They don't care. They don't want to hear it. What do? So what I say is call the police. Yes, if you've reached out numerous times and they're still doing it, they're still being loud, they're still being annoying, call the police. And when I say call the police, I'm saying if it's happening right then and there. I mean, you're not going to call the police for something that happened 2 days ago or for something that is not happening right then and there, okay? Now, you don't want to call the police, okay, fine. You called the police, okay, fine. You're going to reach out to your property manager or the owner. Hopefully the owner has already dealt with situations like this and they can handle it pretty well. But unfortunately, there's some slumlords out there, or there's some landlords that just don't care. What do? Reach out to the landlord. Again, be very nice about it. Okay, excuse me, this is what's been going on. I've already reached out to the tenant. I've already reached out to the police that if it's gotten to be too much, and I've gotten nowhere. So what are my options here? What can I do? Because this is becoming a nuisance. Your landlord should be like, okay, let me reach out to them. Let me see what I can do, right? You've reached out to your landlord. Nothing gets done. So what is your next step? Well, this is the part, if you're a tenant, where you start cataloging all the instances that this person makes noise. I know it's going to sound a little redundant and a little like, why would I do that? Okay. The reason being is you catalog it for at least a week. You say, hey, this is what's going on. I've already called the police. I've already done this, and present it to your landlord. And so if you got a good experienced landlord, a lot of times they don't want to deal with it. And landlords, if you're watching this, a lot of us, at least for myself, my time isn't worth that. My time isn't worth dealing with those issues. So a lot of times the best thing for me is just to say, you know what? How about you leave? You leave my unit in really good condition, cleaned up, so that I can rent it out right away. If you don't want to do that, then say, hey, can you sublease it? Maybe there's somebody that doesn't care. Maybe there's somebody that that doesn't mind noise or makes just as much noise. So try those options. Who knows? Maybe you can make that work. But catalog it all, show it to your landlord. And to be honest with you, I'm sure if your landlord is nice about it, if you go in and just say, hey, look, this is what's going on. I really want to get out of my lease. They are not letting me get any sleep. I've already contacted the police. Please let me out of my lease. I'll leave the unit in good condition. Let me get back my deposit, and I'll just go. You don't have to deal with me. You don't have to see me. And you can rent that out to somebody else. Now you've done it. You've cataloged it. You've given it to your landlord. And he just says, oh, well, this is apartment living. And let me just say this. I mean, if you're one of those people that cannot stand noise, if you're one of those people that if like the slightest noise just annoys you, do not rent an apartment. I'm telling you that right now. Do not rent in a multifamily apartment complex. It's not for you. It's not for you. Let's get real. It's not for you. If those little kids get too annoying for you, if little creaks at night or whatever the heck get too much for you, don't rent in a multifamily complex, because there's always going to be noise. Always. Remember, because a lot of people are have the thought process that, oh, well, the landlord's going to be able to have all this unlimited power, and it's not like that. We don't have unlimited power. We can't just say, hey, you know what? You're making too much noise. Get out. Because if we take people to court, the judge is going to say, stop doing it, and that's that. Then you spent money, you spent time, and it's just annoying. So get that out of your head, that we have the power just to be like, you're out. It doesn't work that way. Landlords, if this is an ongoing issue really think about moving those tenants out. If your whole thing is to better your property, get a bigger NOI, get a return on your investment, then you got to get rid of the problem children. So if that is your plan, if that is what you want to do, and you got noisy neighbors or noisy tenants that are making a lot of noise, get them out of there. Get them out. Just get them out. It's done. Get them out. You don't need that at your property, okay? Now, you don't, what I like to tell my landlords is, what is your time worth? What is your time worth? Is your time worth spending all of it on these noise issues, or is your time worth more, fixing up the property, getting a higher NOI, getting a higher revenue on your investment? What is, or return on your investment, what is it worth to you? Because if your time is worth having to deal with all these noise issues, then by all means, keep doing what you're doing. Now you're probably saying, but Eric, those kids upstairs are really loud. Okay, well, if your landlord was good, he would have put them in a different place. But the reality also is that he could have bought the property like that, or he was in some financial troubles and he needed to rent it out right away. I mean, there's a lot of different scenarios there. But at the end of the day, what is this really worth to you as a tenant? Because I get a lot of tenants that say, oh, but I'm only paying, such a small amount. It's like, okay, is your mental health worth that much? I really want you to ask yourself that. Just like I asked the landlords, hey, is your time and your effort worth that hassle? I'm going to ask the tenants the same thing. Is your mental health worth that much? After the year, you move out. You learn. You do what you have to do. But it's really difficult, especially now in the world we're living, to kick people out for noise. It's just really difficult. You're talking about you could serve them, take them to court, do all these things. You could fine them, you could do all these things, but the reality is, if that tenant is just done, they don't want to deal with it, it's a hard situation. So that's kind of my advice. I mean, obviously different situations call for other measures. I mean, there could be just landlords that are so hard-headed that sometimes you gotta be a little more forceful. And same thing with tenants. I mean, sometimes there's tenants that are a little more hard-headed and you got to be a little more forceful. So just remember, we're all going through this together. We're all living our lives on this earth. So mistakes happen, things happen, and you can choose to be two ways. You can choose to be negative about it and be harsh and let it bitter you, or you can just choose to say, you know what, I learned from it. It's a great story when I'm sitting around a campfire, and just take it as that. As always, I'm your host, Eric, the Investosaurus Rex. So make sure you like, subscribe, and comment.